What's up, guys? Welcome to Mike It Yourself. Today is Review Wednesday. For today's review, we're going to go back and look at one of the first things that we posted a video on, and that was creating your own portable power box, right? So if you've been shopping around for anything like this or done any kind of research at all, you know there are many other devices out there, like I think one's called the Jackery. There's some great stuff out there, but they tend to be a little bit pricey. And what I was trying to do is to build myself something that I could take camping, that I could use for my CPAP machine so I can sleep at night. And I was looking for something that was going to be able to fit my budget. And at the time, there was really no budget. So what I did is I just put something pretty simple together. So let's take a look at it. Let's go over the details, and I'll explain. So the overall setup of this is very straightforward. So it's a battery in a box, and you got an inverter, right? Now, when I originally built this out, I built it with two 18 amp hour motorcycle batteries. One that I actually pulled out of an old portable jump starter, and then another one I had that was actually a motorcycle battery. And one died. So we'll talk about that there in a minute. Exterior wise, what you're looking at is this is just a simple battery box. You can buy these. I think they sell them for the purpose of like maybe RVs or definitely for boats. And it's a ventilated box, so that's important. You want to make sure that your batteries have ventilation, especially when charging. I've got a very simple 400 watt peak inverter. I think this was being sold at like Pep Boys before they shut down their retail stores. But again, for 400 watts, it meets my needs. Now, I do want to upgrade this to something a little bit bigger, and it's because I want to expand the use of this battery. And it's because I've gotten a bigger battery. So we'll talk about what the battery is here in a minute. But for now, what I want to do is upgrade this probably to about 1500 watts or higher. And because I want to be able to run, more things with the heat element if wanted, right? So if I needed to produce heat, I could do that with a 15 watt or 1500 watt or higher inverter. But that's still to be determined. So for now, good to go, right? I did add in a display. So the original design of this is an exterior on-off power button. I've since discontinued using this and just kind of rely here on the on-off for the inverter itself, which is just fine. And then I upgraded my LED indicator from being just straight voltage to an indicator that includes the percentage of charge, the voltage. Let's get a good zoom on this. And then it's got the temperature. So this is great information, especially the percentage of charge, because one of the things that I lacked when looking at my old display was knowing how charged or discharged the battery was, right? So it would read 12 volts, 12.5 volts, whatever it was, but I may be at 75% charge. So again, I just want to overall know what that percentage is, so that way I can better monitor and keep things going effectively. So this was a great investment, simple to hook up and easy to find on Amazon. So if you're looking for something, this is a great find there. And then let's talk about what's inside the box. All right, guys, so let's talk about what's inside this thing. So we're running an Everstart 27 DC. That's just the group size. It's actually a 12 volt battery. But this is the battery that we're running in here. And what this battery brings to this power setup is over 100 amp hours of power, which is significantly better than the 36 amp hours I was getting out of those two motorcycle batteries that I had originally put in there. And my original goal was to replace those two batteries with a Harbor Freight solar battery setup, but it was going to give me like 36 amp hours, right? So this is over 3 times that. And what I really, really appreciate about this setup here is I can run my CPAP machine with the humidifier for at least 3 days. So I did a 2-day test run on this here at my home just to see how this thing would perform with the humidifier and the CPAP machine both running on it. And if you don't know, the humidifier has a heating element in it to help bring some humidity to your CPAP, so that way you don't draw out your sinuses, right? Because it could be very painful if you do. But and this thing ran like a champ for 2 days solid, no issues. I definitely had enough juice to run it for a third day. I didn't do it, but I know it could. So that gave me peace of mind. Now, I charge this battery with a smart charger kind of before I go where I need to be. My plans for the future on this is, as I mentioned, to upgrade this to a bigger inverter. And then I also want to get a solar panel so that way while I'm camping, I can essentially just leave that solar panel out, and during the day, this thing will continue to charge. And then at night, as I need it, I can use it. So to try to offset kind of the depletion of the power, even though it should last me through a camping weekend without any issue. The one downside to this battery is the weight. It is very, very heavy compared to the other battery setup that I had. And that's, unfortunately, that's the trade-off, right? So higher capacity, higher weight in this particular case. But in my my own opinion, it's worthwhile. If it brings me the peace of mind that I don't have to worry about whether or not I'm going to have power for my CPAP machine for 3 days, I'll carry this, in and out of a location on a regular basis if I had to, right? Just because it's so important to me, right? And again, this is something that can be used for whatever, personal reasons. Say you're in a neighborhood that loses power frequently, you can have this on hand, plug in your Wi-Fi, plug in your cable TV, whatever it is you want, and this thing would operate that easily compared to, some of the things that I'm running as far as like the heating element on my humidifier goes. What I would, like to do is, like I said, with the upgrade of this, is be able to run maybe a space heater or something like that. But that's something I've got to look a little bit more into, because then you're talking about pulling some real amps, and you want to make sure, or I need to make sure, that my wiring that I'm using is sufficient, right? That I have good a good thickness or gauge to the wire. And then in addition to that, I'll be throwing in or making sure that I have fuses in place, so that way I don't risk creating a bigger problem for me. In the meantime, this works perfectly, and I definitely recommend this as a setup. Again, when I look at the cost of this total, I'm looking at about $75 for the battery, $15 for this battery case, and then I paid $20 for this thing a couple of years back. So all in all, about $120 or so, even less, and I've got portable power. So it doesn't look as pretty, but it operates even better than some of the things that you can buy out there for 3 times the cost of it. So I hope you enjoyed this review of this battery setup, or the portable power setup from its original build. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you enjoy my content, become a subscriber. We're on our way to our 1,000 subscriber goal, and I really appreciate you all joining our community, providing us some information, or hopefully providing you information as well. So until that next video, I hope to see you in the win.